Yo, hello, what's up? How's everybody doing? I wanted to explain a few things on Ninja Awakening that has been grinding my gears lately, and PA hasn't done anything about buffing or even slightly reworking some of his movesets so that he can be at least comparable to his Succession spec that is seemingly overperforming compared to his Awakening spec. Now, on regards to his Awakening, right now it's just overall underperforming. It's not dealing enough damage in PvE. Some areas where I usually go into with other classes with the same gear set does remarkably better damage and consistency when it comes to trash loot gains and whatnot than what Awakening Ninja can even properly do in the game. And then when I switch to Succession, it just leaps and bounds does better than Awakening. Better damage, better consistency when it comes to overall trash making. But not only that, in PvP, the class also overperforms compared to what Ninja Awakening can do. Especially if we're talking about, let's say, the newest game mode that they added into the game, Arena of Solaire. You have no idea how many times I've tried to deal my damage across the board with Ninja Awakening in AOS, and I have severely underperformed in terms of damage, no matter what I tried. From what you can see standardized in overall any other creators' videos of what they say about Awakening Ninja, they say the same thing, that the class is underperforming in AOS. It's not dealing enough damage, it's losing in a lot of matches because the comp that they're probably may be in it's not helping them out, it's not really doing so well with them, but overall the class is it's not dealing the damage. It may be able to catch players, but it's not able to moderately deal the damage across the board. It just seems to underperform when it comes to that. Now, in prior updates, in prior buffs and prior nerfs to Ninja Awakening, we have seen that they have massively nerfed some of his best moves into his kit. They nerfed Serpent's Ascension. They made it to be the way it is now. It doesn't deal as much damage as it used to. It used to be able to deal 2 hits, or should I say 2 animated hits onto the target, and now it does 1. So this is how this is how it looks now. And before, if I can get a video. And this variation of Serpent Ascension did so much more damage compared to what we have now. Then what else they basically did is that they buffed the other moves that he has in his kit. For example, they buffed Corrupt Sword Dance, they buffed Sudden Decapitation, they buffed Vacuum Slash, they gave him some new follow-ups between these moves. They also given him a new move, Flashing Light. And maybe I believe they also somewhat buffed Seamless and a little bit of Bloodthirst, Katana Shower, right? They somewhat buffed some of his moves across the board, but not enough to really warrant the nerf to Serpent's Ascension, in my opinion. So we can already see that some of the changes was that they can do stuff like this. Sorry, that wasn't what I wanted to say. That you can do stuff like this, where you can speed cancel the Corrupt Sword into Vacuum Slash. You can do it to Sudden Decapitation as well. Right there. From those 2 moves, you can essentially cancel those particular attacks into Vacuum Slash as you want to. You can also go into Flashing Light or into Execution from Vacuum Slash. You can also go into Drastic Measure into Mock Explosion or into Flashing Light. You can do all that, right? Those are basically the changes they have done, and they can also do it from other moves too, like Katana Shower. But that's besides the point. They've given him so many cancels and different follow-ups from his kit, but the damage hasn't been completely justified for the changes that they have done to Serpent Ascension. Now, it might seem like I'm just coming across as, oh, give back the original Serpent Ascension, where, or not the original, but at least where it used to be able to go through 2 attack sequences and dealt its damage accordingly. What I really want to see for Awakening right now is some new changes, some actual reworks. Because they have done really nothing really in terms of an actual big change to his kit. And it could either be because a lot of players agreed that, oh, Ninja Awakening doesn't really need any changes, it just needs more buffs, it just needs maybe a little bit of a slight rework here and there, like they've done with Corrupt Sword, Sudden Decapitation into Vacuum Slash, the new follow-ups you can do with Drastic Measure, Bloodthirst, Katana Shower into Execution, or Mock Explosion into Flashing Light, all that stuff, right? They even buffed the one biggest useless move that we don't even choose to use, or even like unlock, and that's Chaos Free. They even buffed this move. They speed casted the move a little bit, and they buffed the damage a little bit as well in the game. But no one uses this move. I don't get why they so desperately want to do something to Ninja Awakening, but instead of actually do something significant to him, they just want to buff damage across the board, and that's it. When in reality, Ninja Awakening needs to be, in my opinion, a bit better, at least to be compared to that of Succession. And right now, it's not really compared to Succession. You can't tell me that Awakening Ninja is equal to that of Succession. You cannot tell me that. I already tested this. I already tested Awakening in different PvE zones, and I've seen how shit Awakening damage does against monsters. The time it takes for me to take one group of mobs with Awakening compared to me using Succession is night and day. You can't tell me otherwise. And then when I'm playing an Awakening Ninja in PvP compared to Succession Ninja in PvP, again, night and day. You see a significant boost in attack potency, you see a better consistency in terms of overall outplayability than it is when I'm playing Awakening Ninja. And the reason why I believe so is that Awakening Ninja doesn't really have the same overall mobility that Succession has. It has better overall attack speed, it has better overall burst damage, it has better overall outplayability when it comes to how well it maneuvers around in the battlefield, how it's able to outplay players by simply being very evasive and confusing, how it just blinks at every pace, at every direction that you're looking at, making it really hard for you to really catch the Succession Ninja compared to Awakening Ninja. So even though Awakening Ninja has all this, right, he can do stuff like this, right, he can do all of this stuff, right, it's great, right? He can do all that. And if you want to be a little bit more fancy, you can be like, right? You can do stuff like that. Whatever the case that you want to be doing with Ninja Awakening. But you can't tell me that the Ninja Awakening in terms of Succession Ninja are equal. They're not equal. When there's already been multiple tests that I have done and other players have done, and they have seen that Succession Ninja is overperforming compared to Awakening Ninja. And there needs to be an actual overall change, not a huge change, but some skills need to be changed in Awakening so that he can compare to that of Succession Ninja right now. Now, what are the things that I kind of want to see changed for Awakening Ninja? Now, in my opinion, the biggest thing that I think that they should change is Chaos Free. Chaos Free needs to be changed. It needs to be changed drastically. This move is not used in PvE, it's not used in PvP. And if you were to use it, it's because maybe the enemy is about to die and you want to use a skill to take them down immediately, right? So you use Chaos Free. That's it. That's the only use that it has, that I can feel that it's useful for. But I feel like this one needs to change. It needs to have the same similar change that they have done to Succession Ninja's variation of Chaos Free. That's what I think. To make it as equally cool looking and has an actual utility to it. But right now I just can't see any use for Chaos Free in a PvP scenario or in a PvE scenario. That's why I don't even have it unlocked. That is one move that I feel that they need to drastically change in the game, or either take it away and add something new completely. But I really doubt that there's anything they can do to Chaos Free to rework it, besides either just completely scratch the move completely out of the game and just add something new to him, right? That's the only other option that I can think of. The other thing is also Drastic Measure. I think Drastic Measure needs to be changed. As we already see in game, you have the ability to charge it, right? And it does more damage while it's charged. You can also charge it as long as you want, and it can stay super armor, right? Until, you know, you let it go. Or if the game itself decides, okay, that's it, you can't hold it for any longer anymore. But while you're holding it, You can also go step and then release the move, right? That's great. That's phenomenal. Okay, fine. But why? I see no use for a move that doesn't really help me anything besides it's giving me a little bit of protection. The move is very linear, for one. It doesn't really AoE fairly well in the game. And even if I go step once, if I do it again, it cancels the move. It has no real use for it besides just simply, oh, I can stay protected for a lot longer than usual. That's it. It's like as if I'm just trying to use the Q block and that's it and do this instead. I can just do this instead and not waste a skill just to basically stay SA protected. Even though my back is completely, open to getting CC'd, it's still better than just me wasting my time doing this, holding it down, and then using my move, while they're just balling up on me and then shitting on me as they are attacking me with all their skills combined, especially in AOS. So there's no real use for drastic measure besides, in my opinion, is that you fast cast a move when you're using certain moves in tangent. So, for example, if you use Murderous Intent into drastic measure, right? Or if you want to use, let's say, I believe it's Vacuum Slash. You can use Vacuum Slash. Let's say you do something between the lines like... You can do that if you want, in order to deal your damage immediately to your target. And the other thing that I want to also explain is that this class doesn't really have a decently good mobile move to really use against targets. Like, okay, you have Silent Charge, you have Block Jump to kind of maneuver around in the field. You also have Murderous Intent kind of to use, even though it's unprotected. And you maybe have Flashing Light as well, kind of, to kind of move around as well. Either way, you don't really have the same sense of mobility. Or should I say more like you don't have the same sense of outplayability while you're playing Awakening. Like if you're playing somebody who's playing Awakening, you're going to see a lot of the times where they're going to be going to pre-awaken. And doing stuff like that, basically. Now, I don't know if I did a really good job presenting how usually Awakening players play around with Awakening, but in my opinion, what you just saw right here, the Succession can do it twice as fast while being far more elusive and protected while doing so. So, the Awakening Ninja already loses out in that department. And as you saw right there, I had to stay in a constant state of constantly switching between both the pre-awaken and the awakening, just so that I can utilize the skills to stay protected while doing so. Succession, you don't have to do anything like that, because of course you're only using the pre-awaken spec with just modified skills that are used for Succession. So why is it that in Awakening, you don't have anything like that? You only have Silent Charge, and like I said, of course you have Flashing Light, and you have this move, like I already said. You also have Murderous Intent as well, and then you can C-swap if you want to C-swap. You still have Ninja Step as well. You got Ghost Step as well to use, but once that's all off cooldown, or should I say on cooldown, you're kind of just doing stuff like this, really. Unless you're going to be staying in Awakening and doing stuff like this. That's probably may be what you're going to be doing, but if you want to really outplay somebody in Awakening, you're not going to be constantly going into these few moves just so that you can try catching the player off guard. You're going to be using a lot of your other moves, like you're going to be trying to go for stuff like this. You get my point? So, Ninja Awakening needs to be on par, or at least somewhat on par with Succession, and right now it's not. And I think the best thing they can do is give him a new mobile protected CC move. And I know a lot of players don't like to hear that because they don't want to hear the thought process of a ninja having a new CC move that's also protected and is very mobile. they lose their shit if that were to happen. If anything, I would really like it that they were to give Ninja Awakening a move that, okay, it's not protected, but it's still very mobile, and it's quite quick, and can CC the target. Now, you've already kind of seen that in the game. If you're someone who plays the game just as much as I do, right? That there's tons of classes now that have moves that can actually go through frontal guard, right? Like Hashashin, Berserker. A lot of classes have a lot of fairly quick mobile CC skills that can actually go through frontal guard, right? Not through SA, but through frontal guard. And I feel that Ninja should have something like that. Now you may say, oh, he has block jump for that. But block jump is what? A move that is where is it? I need to see where it's at. It's 18 seconds long, right? It's only invincible while you're concealed, and it stiffens, but it's very inconsistent a lot of the times, and it misses a lot of the times. So I would rather like it that he gains an actual mobile move. Again, it doesn't have to be protected. I would like it to be protected, and that it can CC. But I don't mind it if it's not exactly protected. What I want is a move that's like Murderous Intent, like this, right? But it's just as fast as Murderous Intent, but it goes through players. Now, there is a move, in fact, that is already kind of available in the Ninja's kit, but it's not in this version of the game. It's in the mobile version of Black Desert Online, where Ninja, or he's called Sura, and in that version of the game, he has a move that's similar to Murderous Intent, but he has another variation of the move where he actually goes through the target and can either, I don't know if it's stun or stiffen or knockdown, I'm not too sure what the CC is, but it's protected in that version of the game. Of course, it's a mobile game, so it makes sense. You don't really have the same control or mobility that you have on PC. So I would like it that they were to give him a move similar to Murderous Intent, but this one can go through players and CC them. So if they're not fully, let's say, SA protected, then they can basically go through this and take them down. But the move, let's say, has not a long cooldown, but let's say maybe around 8 to 10 seconds. I think that would be a nice, added move for Ninja Awakening. This way, at least he had something to actually utilize for mobility. And like I mentioned, if they were to actually rework his other moves, like Drastic Measure, and maybe actually give him a new move completely, or rework Chaos Free, then I think that would be a nice touch to Ninja Awakening. Because if they're not gonna really buff his damage, then I need something else to really give him, to allow him to outplay a bit better in the game right now. And then the other thing that's just a small nitpick, please change Seamless. Why does Seamless have Bound? Why can't this move maybe Bound in PvE? Or better yet, give it it can Bound in PvE, but it can also down smash for PvP and PvE. I think that would be a nice touch to Seamless, because I don't really have no reason to use Seamless other than to use it as filler or to self-buff myself. That's the only real use that I have with Seamless. So yeah, that's about it really. There really isn't anything else. If they just look into that and maybe hopefully do something for Ninja Awakening, then that would be great for all the Ninja players that play Awakening. And hopefully, if they were to buff some damage across the board to his kit, maybe he can do a little bit better in a lot of the 1vx scenarios that he could be in the game, compared to what he does now in Succession, where it's just overall overperforming compared to Awakening. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed what I stated in this video. If you don't give two shits about it, you can give it a like or dislike. And if not, then tell me your own thoughts on what you think Ninja Awakening needs, if he needs anything at all. And yeah, stay tuned.